Up next, we're going to turn this juniper log into a lamp base. Stick around. To start, we're going to turn the log round just so it's easier to manage drilling the hole. So just centering it on the lathe is the first step. And it looks pretty close there. And that looks pretty close there. Tighten everything up. Give it a try. This seems just about right. Just to keep it in balance better, I think we're good to go. Tight. So first of all, we're going to get it round. We use a big gouge like so. Some glasses. And the rest. Putting the rest sort of even with the center of the pin gives an advantage, finding out where we're not hitting anything, but try to get it as close as you can. And now we just got to find a speed that's suitable. We'll start there and just start at the end. First start, keep checking the tightness. And move the rest over. Move the rest one more time. A few little cracks here and there, but you know, I think it's going to work out. It's a nice big piece of juniper. It's pretty rare to get juniper in the really big sizes. Now that we have it a little rounder, we can speed up the lathe. Have a quick look here. This is the widest part, so that's where we want to keep it wide, being a tapered lamp probably. So we'll just crank that up a bit. Now that it's round, you can be a little more aggressive. Starting to get into the rich color of the juniper. Got a little issue there. Hardly any cracks at the top, which is good. And one in the center there. One crack there, but that's not too serious. So next step is to put little knobs on the end of the lamp base and then move it to the other lathe where I'm going to drill the hole down the middle. Just a small gouge just to get in the top. And a little more speed, seeing we got it smaller. Taper that off a bit so it fits. We move down here. Everything's square. Dig this a little deeper. Okay, that step done. Next we go put the end in the chuck. Tighten that up a bit. Then push the one end in. Check it for round. Really nice. One more shot. Grab our long bit and down we go. loud. That's far enough there. Now we just have to flip it over to the other end. Pretty good. Straight is good. And now we just have about 6 more inches to go from the bottom. We're through. Loud. That's it, voila. So now we have to drill the hole to 7/16 diameter. So that way when we build the lamp, we have the right diameter for the shaft to fit. Square, and then we just drill with our 7/16 bit all the way through. We're through. Clean the hole again. I drilled the bottom of the knob off just to keep it more secure. It's not necessary, but I just thought I made that a little bit too narrow, and with the hole drilled in there, there wasn't as much wood to support it, so I just drilled that bottom off. Now I got to find the center again, which is trickier, but it's pretty close. Real tight. Okay, I'm just about there. A little trial and error. Finding the center, I can see it's a little high there. Normally, I would have put it in its old groove, but look at that, just right. So after finding that, I've got to retighten everything. And being a lamp, they can be any shape, any size. Just got to have the support at the bottom. First off, again, we're just going to make it round and try to get rid of these little spots. Some of them are going to get rid of, some of them are going to maybe stay. But get our big chisel. And around we go. Now the hole's right in the middle. So we want to take this is what we're looking for. So we want to take a lot of this. And I think we're going to just make a taper because the wood does enough all by itself. You don't need to shape it much. So we'll just get rid of a lot of wood here to start. Tall one. Have a little look. Got an issue there. That knot goes right through, so we're gonna have to leave that. It's got some interesting stuff going on there. That's interesting. That's got a little bit of a sap layer on it still. You know what? It's not bad looking the way it is. So now we just have to straighten this line to see how straight I am. So we're gonna take a bit more off in there. And we're gonna use a different chisel this time. This just cuts it a little nicer. Check. A little bit right there. Doing the final part, I try to keep my hand on the rest. That way it acts as a guide. Some of these indents are just part of the character of the wood. When there's a few of them, it's makes it easier, but I think there's lots of color showing off the piece of wood. Next, we start with sanding with a 60 grit. A few little seams in here that are still there, but 60 grit is pretty powerful, so I'm going to turn on the dust extractor. Just looking for any chisel marks. Everything should be consistent. Next, 180. At the end of 320, that will do a little orbital sanding. This is a 400 grit on this. And we can speed it up. Sanding is over. Next, we're going to use a little epoxy with some of that sawdust. This might clean that little hole out a bit. That I think we'll leave because it's kind of interesting. Now we just mix some of this. I think this is 5 minutes, so we got 5 minutes to work with it. A whole bunch of sawdust. Yeah, the sawdust is the same wood we took off it, so it should compromise. It doesn't really matter as much because it's all dark. So it's just a matter of choosing whatever wood you got available. But seeing I just sanded this. after it settles. That one is starting to run. Now that we have the resin dry, we're going to sand it back a bit just to keep everything the same. This one. Just using a nice 320. And just to clean that up, I'm going to give one shot of this. That's good. Sanding's done. Now we're going to put a finish on it. I tend to use an oil varathane, something that penetrates so it seals it well, but sometimes I lacquer it, but I find that oil varathane is an oil finish, easy to apply, and looks good. Easy finish to apply. The rag, and put it on nice and thick. Usually let this dry for an hour or so and give it one more coat because this will absorb in, and then wipe it dry, or wipe it clean with a dry cloth after a couple hours, and then apply coats as you want the sheen to grow. After it's done drying, you can pick up a lamp building kit at any local hardware store. I'm Brian Hoffos. Thanks for watching.